Of course, Oxford Biomedica are involved in the manufacture here, not in the testing of this vaccine at this point, but you are already manufacturing it. Can you give us any insight, John, into how that is going, whether you've reached any hurdles, what way through the order you are, any kind of insight into how the manufacturing process is going?
Have to be reasonably guarded about that, but it's going extremely well. We are scaling up to 1,000-litre bioreactors. We started out from 200-litre bioreactors. We plan to produce batches throughout 2020 into 21, and again, we think will play a big part in supply as AZ need to satisfy their customers. So we're very excited about this. We're really pleased to be playing a part in fighting the pandemic with AZ and the government, and we're very excited to drive this forward.
Yeah, can you give us any sense of the size and scope of your involvement as part of what is an incredibly fascinating and important global effort?
Our part is really to make the drug effectively. We're doing that in our suites. We were fortuitously just finishing off a new manufacturing plant towards the end of 19 when the pandemic hit in Q1. We had some capacity in our manufacturing suites, which would suit the job exactly. We spoke with, first of all, the Jenner Institute. We were part of that consortium. AZ then became involved and now contracted us to work throughout 20 into 21 to make sure we produce enough vaccine. We'll be doing probably tens of millions of doses, I'd imagine.
And I know that this vaccine is being produced at risk in the sense of financial risk. So obviously the trials are ongoing, and everybody hopes that this drug will be, this vaccine will be successful. But there is financial risk, I suppose, for producing it. Is the risk yours? Is it AstraZeneca's? Is it shared? How does that work?
We've had an upfront reservation fee of £15 million from AstraZeneca towards batches going forward, and that will be refunded against batches throughout 20 and 21. If the drug were not to go forward, we keep that, so we would have no financial loss. We've also done a lot of process development work, which we've been paid for as well. I'd hasten to add, we're not charging our normal commercial rates here. We are doing this because we want to play a part in fighting the pandemic.
OK, yeah, important to make that point, I'm sure. In terms of the rest of your business, John, and what you do on a day-to-day basis, obviously you'd scaled up, anticipating more partnerships around your regular business, not having to cope with the pandemic. So in terms of the rate at which you're gaining those partnerships, is that going to be, you've added many in the last 12 months, are you going to keep up that pace of additions?
Of course. I mean, we're working on the vaccine around the pandemic here, but also we're making sure in no shape, means or form will it affect our core business, our lentiviral business, because that's what we do day by day. This is to an opportunistic approach to try and help the fight against the pandemic. Our core business and our partners and our new partners coming in later this year will not suffer from this whatsoever.
You balance your own gene and cell therapies and also providing manufacturing facilities to other partners that want to use your lenti vector delivery mechanism. What balance of those two do you want in the future? Because this seems to offer quite different revenue streams, I suppose.
We've always been, and we started out many years ago as a product company, and then we found making our own drug that people found what we did very attractive. The barriers to entry of trying to do lentivector manufacturing, the delivery platform here were quite tricky. So we found a lot of people came to us, and now we have some fantastic partners. We've balanced that with doing our own drugs as well. We have our own proprietary platform. We did a great deal back in 2018 with Axavant around Axolenti PD, our drug for Parkinson's. That's progressing well. And we have the choice in each situation there to either license out our drugs to a partner or keep the proprietary portfolio in-house and do it ourselves. So we have that. But one of the big important factors you have to think about in gene therapy is manufacturing. It's been the downfall of a few companies. We have that, which is running extremely well. We probably lead the world in lentivectors, and so therefore, if we're making lentivector products, we have that part sorted already because we do it so well.
Talking of the partnerships that you have, John, I know at one point, or I think at one point, Novartis was the source of more than half of your revenue. How have you managed to diversify the number of partners that you're getting money from?
Well, it's actually performance with Novartis that's actually made people stand back and think how good we are at what we do. We worked with them to get to market. We had our delivery platform approved by the FDA when Kymriah was approved. And then, of course, that gives you the quality systems to attract other partners too. So we've had a lot of approaches. It's been an interesting year because normally we have people all over the world at conferences, at other companies talking to them. No one's left the country, I don't think, very much at all since March. So we've done quite a few deals since then, have a lot more ongoing as well. So I think it's interesting how you can see a business practice changing. These things can work by Teams, by Zoom. It's great to do it face-to-face at times, but we do learn a bit from this about how we work in the future, I think, as well.
And for those who don't follow the gene and cell therapy industry daily, John, how big do you think it can get? How big can this sector be compared to where we are now?
It can be a lot bigger. I mean, we built our new factory based upon the fact that we saw demand for just lentiviral vector manufacturing. Forget the other part of the business model, royalties, for a second. Just that would be $800 million at least by 2026. And we believe we can have at least a third of that, maybe a bit more. So we see a huge market, ever growing. We think gene and cell therapy will play a huge part in healthcare in the future. So we see this growing very, very quickly.